Issue number 14 of the Mighty Morphin comic by Boom Studios begins with Zordon dying. He's in his full Eltarian form and been told he has about 5 years to live. But things are not as they seem. And that's because Billy shows up to tell Zordon that he has more time than he thinks. Zordon doesn't recognise Billy, and then the blue emissary shows up too. We learn that when Zartus destroyed Zordon's containment chamber, Zordon's consciousness was fragmented, which is why Zordon is so confused here. Billy and the emissary are there to guide Zordon back, but Zordon wants none of it. He then disappears before Billy and the emissary can help him. Next, we see Kimberly and Jason talking at Safe Haven. Kimberly wants to go back to Earth to take on Zartus, but Jason tells her they can't just go in with a sneak attack when they're down a few Rangers. Even though the Omega Rangers and the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers are working together again, it seems things are still a bit frosty between them, hence the disagreements between Kimberly and Jason. On the other hand, Trini is perfectly fine with Billy. They're working with Alpha on trying to bring Zordon back online, but it's not working. Yale comes along and Archon translates so Billy can understand. Yale wants to take Billy to someone who can take him to Zordon. That is none other than the Blue Emissary's statue. Billy's told to do what Trini did before. He needs to morph and punch the statue to establish a connection with the emissary. He was skeptical at first, but gives it a go and establishes contact with the emissary on the first attempt. Billy wonders why the emissary is still alive. He's told that as emissaries of the Morphin Masters, they exist beyond their physical forms. In other words, they're not truly dead. Anyway, this ties back to the beginning of the issue. Zordon is lost inside his own consciousness, hiding amongst his memories. The emissary, Billy and Yale need to locate Zordon, or they'll lose him for good. On Earth, Bulk and Skull continue with their Ranger Station filming, and they interview Zartus himself. He tells the viewers that he wants to turn the world into a utopia as part of the Eltarian Empire. He will not let anything get in his way. Promethea was destroyed last time, and we see the Sentry Force 4 looking for the Rangers. They're unable to detect their Morphin energies, but they split up to continue their search for the Rangers. We then see Zack, Tommy, Aisha and Matt powered down. In their civilian forms they have no Morphin energy, so they can remain hidden. Zack tries to get Tommy to stop arguing with Matt. He tells Tommy that he shouldn't feel threatened by Matt because Kimberly is still with Tommy, even though Matt is a Power Ranger now. There's no reason for Tommy to be so hard on Matt. Back on Safe Haven, we see how the Rangers are getting on with Zedd's minions. Rocky admits to Goldar that Goldar is stronger than him. He's had Rocky a dozen times but never delivered the final blow. That is keeping them fighting forever, so it's possible that Goldar just wants to keep on fighting, never ending the war. If Goldar beats Rocky, is that Goldar's victory or Zedd's? As for Babu, Squat and Finster, they discuss what to do next as they knew why they fought with Rita, but then questioned why they fought for Zedd. They liked Rita because she saved them all. For Zedd though, they're just afraid of him. They decide to pick a side. Back to Zordon now. Billy establishes contact with Zordon again. This time, Billy's taking a more gentle approach and just has a casual conversation with him before he eventually brings up the Power Rangers. That breaks Zordon away from his fantasy world and he asks Billy if the emissary is with him. He is, and so is Yale. Billy tells Zordon they need his guidance. However, Zordon tells him that they're better off without him. Everything Zordon believed in about Eltar was a lie. Zartus is in power because of Zordon. The Imperials rose because he failed to act. So Zordon feels like he's failed everyone. Billy tells Zordon that as an inventor, he fails a lot. But it was Zordon's words to him before, that failure is a choice, and it only begins when you stop trying. That's what brings Zordon around, and the emissary tells them that they must depart. Zordon's not sure how much help he will be though. After all, the containment chamber was destroyed. Billy says that he's got something for him. Back to the Rangers and Zedd's minions. Babu tells the Rangers they want to join the fight. They want retribution, and a galaxy under Zartus' control means that the likes of Zedd's minions won't be welcome. Goldar wants to join the fight so he can make a name for himself. So with this alliance forged, Goldar and Babu want to attack Zartus now, believing he should be overconfident after defeating Zordon and Zedd. Jason tells Babu that they'll need something that will tip the scales in their favour. We then see Zordon enter the room in his new robotic suit offering his help. That's where this issue ends. Now this is interesting, seeing Zordon mobile again, and he's properly equipped like he was as a Guardian, so we should be expecting him going into battle, and maybe against Zartus. So the Rangers have Zordon back, and the good guys are working with the bad guys. Not a bad issue overall, and it sets us up nicely for the next battle, it seems.